When performing this work, make sure you use trim removal tools to help protect from marring and damaging the leather and surfaces. Starting on the passenger side end dash, there are two pieces, the end cap, blue arrow, and the piece beside the glove box, red arrow. To remove the end cap, use a trim removal tool and pry out the two clips away from the end piece. There are two clips, red arrow, that sit behind the rubber door seal. Make sure to lift the seal over the piece when reinstalling. The trim piece beside the glove box just pulls straight back and out. Support the piece on the bottom and top and pull straight back. The small trim piece above the ignition switch, red arrow, is just pried straight out with the trim removal tool. To remove the lower dash trim piece on the driver's side, begin by removing the headlight switch. Push in on the switch and rotate it clockwise. It will move halfway between the off and home position, red arrow. Pull the switch out and disconnect the wiring harness. Use a T20 torque and remove the 3 screws, blue arrows, that hold the inner cup in place and remove the cup. Note the cup has already been removed in this image. Next, remove the single T20 torque screw inside the switch opening and indicated by the blue arrow. Use a T10 torque and remove the 2 screws holding the upper steering column trim piece in place, red arrow, one on each side. Lift the trim piece up and separate the wiring harness from the trim piece, red arrows. Unclip the trim piece from the leather extension on the dash trim piece, green arrows. Remove the steering column trim piece and then pull forward on the piece below the instrument cluster, red arrow. The wiring harness will stay in its place near the column, blue arrow. Remove the instrument cluster trim piece. Using a T10 torque, remove the single screw holding the steering column lower trim piece in place and indicated by the red arrow. Expand and lower the trim piece. Use your trim removal tool and separate the wiring harness connector from the trim piece, red arrow. Remove the T20 torque screw holding the lower trim piece in, red arrow. Do not remove the instrument cluster screws indicated by the blue arrows. Next, you are going to remove the center console lower trim pieces, starting with the carpet piece, red arrow, and the leather piece, blue arrow. Remove the single T27 screw holding the piece in place, red arrow, and remove the piece. Remove the 2 T20 torque screws, red arrows. Lever the lower section straight back and out, and then pull straight back on the upper section, red arrow. Remove the 2 T20 torque screws holding the lower dash trim to the center console support, red arrows. Unscrew the lower center support T20 screw, indicated by the red arrow. Working by the door, remove the single T20 torque screw, red arrow. Pry the end cap off in the same manner as the passenger side and remove the 2 T20 torque screws indicated by the red arrows. Swing the trim piece down and away from the dash. If you are removing it from the vehicle, disconnect the wiring connections. Installation is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.